Hi everyone, a lot of people have asked me for my opinion on this clip, so let's watch it first. Oops, I hope the guy was alright. The clip was posted by Enemy Coast Ahead on X, and it's been really popular. It's been viewed over 7 million times. And my response was simple. Contributions from both parties led to the collision, careless driving and riding. So let's see what both parties obviously should have done differently. First of all, the driver. This is them here, and they have a clear view of the cyclists approaching. But with the standard of most drivers, this guy was probably only looking at the vehicle that was going to let him go. He probably didn't even see the cyclist, if I was honest. The cyclist clearly had priority, and it doesn't matter, as we'll see in a second, that the cycling lane ends. The driver of the Mini is crossing the path of the stationary traffic and the cyclist coming down the inside, and they must do this without causing any problems. And they don't. They pull out way too fast, and when you have an inattentive cyclist approaching, this was always going to happen. It's just a good job that the speeds of both parties was relatively slow. It's pretty obvious for me from a legal standpoint that the driver of the car is going to be held responsible. But the cyclist also had a massive contribution to this collision. I've paused the clip at a similar time to before, when I was analysing what the driver should have done better. I'd like you to take a look at the cyclist at this point. They're drinking out of a water bottle. Now, proper hydration is really important to cyclists. If you don't have enough fluid, your brain's not going to work properly. But just like when I pointed out that the driver could easily see the cyclist, it's the same vice versa. And it's pretty obvious the cyclist didn't see this car until the last moment. At this point, the cyclist is looking down and it looks as though they're replacing the water bottle back into the holder. They're also in a terrible position to be seen. As the cycle lane ends, which remember has no bearing on this collision, this cyclist should have been to the left hand side and they should have been slowing and ready to stop. But they weren't, and watch the swerve as they spot the car. It's utter panic as they grab for the brakes. Have a look at the position that they've just made contact with the Mini. Ironically, if they'd swerved the other way, they would have been fine. If they were paying attention at the correct time, this could have easily turned into one of my non-events. Taking on fluids at a time of low risk is a fairly basic skill in my opinion, and it was lacking. So, to summarise again, was it careless driving? Absolutely, but it was also careless riding. It usually takes two numpties to cause a collision. Another situation that could have been easily fixed if just one of these road users had had my mantra of "Have I been seen?" Ironically, Cycling X scoffs at this.